People with backbones and Ludwig, welcome to a brand new video. Today's video is going to be different. Ludwig, his community has been attacking me for some takes that I had. I don't know why. All I said was that he's spineless, and then I made a tweet that literally blew up Twitter. Everyone's been freaking out about it and saying that I took this too far. Now, I think it's important. It's very important to be aware that despite the fact that I'm getting, mini canceled by the Ludwig stands, I stand by everything that I said. I will be doubling down in this video, and I will also be taking things even further. If you watched my previous video on Ludwig, I actually covered the situation in greater detail, so I will not actually be doing that necessarily now. This video I'm talking about, I will not be revamping everything. I will just be giving you the Cliff's Notes on why he's spineless, and in my opinion, he deserves the criticism big time. This guy is diabolical. I think spinelessness is obviously not a good trait, but I think when you're actively endangering other people with your decisions, it makes you a really shitty guy. So lock in, boys and girl. He called out Tectone, Asmongold responded, and the Wiggers are coming after me, baby. And I will doubling down on everything. I don't actually give a shit. I have breaking news for this video, and I'm taking things to his place that I don't think a lot of people actually want to see. So this is the clip that started it all.
See, we're not drunk, guys.
So this is Ludwig's party. All right, Ludwig makes this party, this drinking event. This guy over here is named Mango, and
But Mango,
he starts humping random girls at the party.
on the other hand, no. He's humping toes. No.
And it is obviously making the girls very uncomfortable.
End the stream! End it!
End the stream, Mango.
End the stream!
Yeah, so obviously no one is comfortable with this, and let me be clear. I think this is shitty. This is really shitty. You are a person, you have control over your own actions, you have freedom of will, and you should not be getting drunk to the point of actually going ahead and doing these things. You absolutely deserve criticism, Mango. This is sexual harassment, in my opinion. Absolutely, 100%. Let me just say, I condemn this. This shit sucks. But it's not only Mango's fault. It is Mango's fault, but it's not only his fault, because this is what's been going on the stream right before that happened.
Hey, everybody! Mango just blew a .32!
He blew a .32, which is dangerous levels of drunk. All right, this is Ludwig, who threw the event.
I'm no longer inviting Mango to Mogul Moves events.
And he decides, of course, Mango went too far, he sexually harassed some women, and it's over.
Cause it's a privilege to go to an event, man.
Yeah, but you realize this comes after him literally egging him on to drink more. The famous clip of Ludwig saying, "Let's up those numbers!" Bro, you gotta realize, also, Mango is a known person that has issues with alcohol. He is an alcoholic, and Ludwig knew about this. So you don't realize, he invited an alcoholic to a party with drinking, and egged him on to drink more. This is evil shit. Ludwig, when Mango's blood alcohol level is .32.
Let's shoot for 40!
And that's kind of what he's been doing the entire time. He's actually been trying to do that shit. Now, I'm going to show you my tweet before we get into other people's tweets. And potential copyright abuse and shit, all this crazy shit, because this is the one that got me into a lot of heat. So I made a video last time saying that it is absolutely diabolical for Ludwig to invite people to a party about drinking, where he is not monitoring them, not taking care of them, and if you want to watch my full context in the previous video, that's fine, but much more importantly, he egged them on to drink more, a known alcoholic. Now, I made this tweet. I don't like bringing people's family into shit in general, but I felt like this was important context. Ludwig Ogren, American YouTuber and streamer, his father died due to complications from alcoholism when Ludwig was 10 years old. Now, again, this isn't me going after people's parents, because I don't actually care about that. I believe that sins of the father, sins of the son, these are different things. I don't actually care. I do not go after family members, obviously. I think that's below the belt and unacceptable. But I don't think this is going after Ludwig's dad. All right, I'm getting canceled, as you can see. This tweet started getting numbers. Obviously, people just started pulling up. Everyone's going out there trying to harass me for this shit. I stand by it completely. Because this is not harassing Ludwig's father. This is not bringing up family issues. This is about Ludwig. Ludwig knows what alcoholism does to you. He knows very well, with first-hand experience, what alcoholism actually does to a person. because his father died of alcoholism when he's 10 years old, okay? So he knew what it's like. And then for clout and for content, he invited a alcoholic to his party. An alcoholic who, by the way, has a young son. Man, this is mirroring it pretty crazy, huh? He is inviting him. This is public record, by the way, okay? He invited an alcoholic to his party where he pushed alcohol on the guy. I think it highlights, in my opinion, how fucking evil this shit is, all right? If you invite a known alcoholic to a party and you give them alcohol, you could say that maybe you're just a complete fucking retard dumbass. But if your father died of alcoholism, then bro, what the fuck? You should know better. You absolutely should know better. This is crazy. Now, obviously, I think this is some sociopath shit, if that's the case. And you get people literally going hog wild. This makes you no better than the people suggesting Asmund killed his parents or Ethan neglects his children. It is not even remotely the same, okay? People suggesting Asmund killed his parents. What are you fucking talking about? I'm not saying Ludwig killed his dad. Also, Asmund didn't kill his mom. What are you talking about? Ethan neglects his children. What are you saying? I am not comparing these even a little bit. I am saying that for someone who knows what the complications are to alcoholism, you should have done better. And you shouldn't have let the clout get to your head. Like, this is a completely not relevant comment. Of course, you have people, so this is crazy. Ludwig on Johann Liebert giving alcohol to an alcoholic from Monster. It's crazy. Oh my god, dude, don't. This isn't cool at all. All these fucking fake people that are coming into my comment section to the minions that are popping. It's not cool. I can't believe you'd bring up his dead father. It's relevant. I'm sorry. It is abso-fucking-lutely relevant. It is relevant shit that he should know better. I'm sorry. Doubling down. So, no apology from Nuxanor, much to the surprise of everyone. So, Tectone called out Ludwig. And we're going to be watching Tectone's video after this, but I don't think this is from the video.
Might say no. Some people might say yes. Do you know who would disagree with that very take? Do you know who would disagree that you are not responsible for someone else's actions?
All right. So, again, Ludwig has taken the stance here by firing Mango and saying he's never coming back. He's taken the stance that I am not responsible for your actions. This is all your fault.
Ludwig himself.
But Ludwig, because he's such a clout goblin, a person who virtue signals so hard to always be on the right side of history, he says you have responsibility for the actions of random people in your chat.
And this is why we're talking about this here today. The only person responsible for someone's actions is the someone that did the action. If little Timmy sees a video of a guy eating a fuckload of Takis and faking domestic violence, and then eats a fuckload of Takis and slaps his crush, Timmy is responsible, not the other guy. I just said your argument is weak. Fight someone else in the comments. How is it weak, bro? Nobody is responsible for what random idiots do but the idiot that did it. The fact that you seem to think that you have this much pull and control over randos that roll up to his stream says more about ego than anything else, to which Ludwig responded, I think there's a lot of good arguments for not having responsibility. I just specifically think mentioning a 1 in 100,000 extreme cases proof of why that should be the case is weak. Weak argument equals weak stance. It's not weak, it's true. You aren't responsible for what randoms do unless you specifically say, hey, go do unshit in my name. Ludwig, you have actively fought people who said that you aren't responsible for someone else's actions. You believe that you are responsible for someone else's actions.
So, you have to realize, to put this into context, Ludwig says that you are responsible for the actions of random people in your chat. Okay? He thinks you're responsible for that. But he doesn't think he bears responsibility for inviting a known alcoholic to his alcohol party and giving him alcohol and telling him to pump up those numbers. By the way, in my opinion, I don't think people are actually responsible for their own chat. I actually don't think that's true. I think if you say, for example, go kill Rick Scott as a hypothetical, obviously don't do that, but if you say that on stream and then someone in your audience goes and kills Rick Scott, that's an incitement to violence. But just people in your audience that do crazy shit, I don't think that's your fault. Sorry, I don't think that's your fault. It is. I don't have control over my chat and my audience. Nothing. You are free people with free will and you can do whatever you want. However, I'm not giving alcohol to alcoholics. This is not someone in your chat. This is your friend, bro. And you ruined his life. You ruined this man's life, dude. He was banned from Twitch. He was fired from his Smash Bros. Esports org. You are never inviting him back to parties. No one will ever want to collaborate with him again. You ruined his career. You ruined his career.
By the way, this was in regards to chat policing. This was in place for community policing, saying that a streamer is in control of their chat and a streamer is in control of their community, and they should dictate what that chat and community should do. So if you believe a streamer is in charge of their chat, randoms on the internet, why the fuck do you think you're not responsible for taking care of one of your best friends in a weakened state around alcohol that you know is his vice, a suffering alcoholic in a public on-display format in front of thousands of people? Ludwig.
Yeah, like the virtue signaling dies. The virtue signaling is dead.
If you had a fucking spine, you would understand that you fucked up bringing Mango into that situation. You need to wake the fuck up.
Yeah, he's a clout goblin. He only sees clout. That's it, man.
Because if you are going to say that a streamer is in charge of their chat, yes, the streamer host should be fucking taking care of the people in their community.
By the way, I don't just think that I don't think this is a one-to-one comparison. I think it's like incredibly obvious. It's obvious that someone needs to take care of their friends. I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison because I think that you don't need to have responsibility for every single person in your audience, but you should have responsibility for people that come to your parties, especially... Bro, look at his chat! I rated him at this point when he was cooking. Nux raid, Nux raid. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Anyway, not the point. The point that I'm trying to make is Ludwig makes his big response. Mango is no longer invited to his parties. Mango's wife took to Twitter. Saying... since I'm not bound by shit as a civilian, I watched you on stream asking for Mango to take shots. Of course, your little teeny bopper viewer bitch ass wants to pretend that it never happened. People were vomiting at your event and you never decided to pull the alcohol. Hope you enjoy your grace for banning Mango while encouraging him to get wasted. Fuck you, Lud. Word for word, I need to do a shot. Where's Mango? This is his wife. You have to realize, Ludwig humiliated him, humiliated his wife. Is gonna be humiliating his child because his child is gonna be going to school and be made fun of that his father sexually harassed women at Ludwig's party. And destroyed his career. He's banned on Twitch. He lost his org. He's no longer competing in Smash events. You got other people going viral, actually finally talking about it. Because honestly, I don't want to say that I was the breakthrough here, but it's because of people like me, like Tectone, that actually were willing to call out Ludwig, even though Ludwig's a famous guy in the streamer community with such a wonderful reputation. It's only because of people like us, by the way, that surprise, people are actually happy to talk about it now. I haven't spoken on it fully yet, but Ludwig failed Mango as a friend. True. Enabling him and cheering on this level of drinking and not looking after him, not separating him from others is incredibly irresponsible. It's insane. Mango messed up, obviously, but it's not like Ludwig is not at fault here. He says, oh dude, is this a real screenshot? I feel zero guilt. I don't feel guilty at all. There is no way. Is this a real screenshot? Oh my lord, how do you not feel guilty at all? You absolute spineless fraud. This is crazy, man. Any good friend would have stopped Mango before the first incident. Reasons for why it happened are not excuses. What Mango did is inexcusable. However, two people could also be wrong at the same time. So this is a tweet from Seros TV. Seros TV claims that his Ludwig video got copyright struck.
I've tried to make this video about 7 times, and each time I tried to upload it, I have had a copyright notice from whatever the Ludwig people are, the clip people that do the clips. It seems as though I'm getting copyright strike for using clips, so I'm just going to talk about what I feel with the Ludwig Mango situation. I don't know if you guys recall the
Yeah, so he was claiming he was getting copyright struck for his videos. I don't think this is real. I don't think that there's actual copyright strike. Just to be clear, I don't think Ludwig is doing this. I think it's his organization that maybe like automatically flags videos that uses his content. I do not believe that he's abusing the copyright system. Just to be clear, I don't think he would actually stoop to that low. However, it is pretty weird because I recall a clip from a year ago that was talking about how Ludwig doesn't care about people abusing the copyright situation.
I saw the drama yesterday with WestJet.
Right, this is Moist Critical talking about how WestJet got copyright strikes. All right, and this is Ludwig.
If you saw that, that's Valorant related.
Wait, I feel like I looked this up, but I forget. What is it?
He made a video about Shazam, and then Shazam copyright struck him.
Yeah, I saw it, and I was like, this is all lame. I don't care.
I mean, it's still fucked up. It's a copyright strike.
And then Charlie's like, wait, what the fuck, man? It's a false copyright strike. They're abusing the copyright system. How are you on this side?
That's some dog.
And he just doesn't care. So I just feel like it's apropos to mention this right here. This is you getting your dues kind of thing. Pretty weird. Pretty weird. But anywho, important to note. Yeah, did I respond to this tweet? Oh yeah, Ludwig was too busy laundering the reputation of terrorist supporters to think this one through. Because that's another thing that I think that he deserves criticism for. That's why by the way, I criticized Ludwig for this a year ago. I got so much hate. Dude, the Ludwig community, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just an extension of the Hassan community. But the irony is, I get every single one of my comment sections has people saying unironically, your family should die because you have Israeli family members. They should all get killed by terrorists. I literally get those comments on every single one of my tweets, literally. So that's why I think that there is an overlap personally between the Ludwig fans that are harassing me over this, which again, I don't care if you harass me. You have every right to, say shit on Twitter. Don't care. Do not give a shit. But it is pretty wild. They're the most tolerant people. So anyway, then Ludwig decides, because Tectone called him out, Ludwig decides to call Tectone out back.
Enable game chat. It's actually one of my greatest pleasures that I get to die never having to speak to these people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's playing with Sea-Dog VA.
It's like a Tectone video. I can die never watching one.
Right. I could never watch. I don't have to ever watch a Tectone video. And then Sea-Dog laughs in the background.
So true.
So true. You never have to react to Tectone. I have opinions on the Connor part of this, which I will get to later.
It's a good life. It's a good life that I get to have.
A really healthy life.
It is. It is.
Yeah. What a really healthy life. Never having to watch a Tectone video. Interesting. So, obviously, you could say that this is just Connor gassing up his boy, which, I don't know. I think that's a respectable take. However, I think it's also part of this personality laundering, spineless mentality. Right, this guy has no problem collabing with Hassan, a known terrorist supporter that might have had sex with children. And then you have, he's not even willing to stand up for Tectone, who, by the way, was his friend, by the way. By the way, you have to realize Connor's friends with Tectone, or at least he was. Like, it's crazy. And I'm not even surprised by this, because Connor was a good friend of mine years ago. He was. And he all but called me a liar in one of his videos without mentioning by name. He said that, and there's this one VTuber who claims that they were invited onto, they wouldn't go on Trash Taste because they're too controversial. That's not true. And that's a lie. He directly told me. I have the DMs of him saying, Connor, I'm not going to leak any DMs, of course, but if you want, you could look. Yeah, let me actually find that clip. All right, so this is him saying that people were just randomly making stuff up because, so for those of you that haven't kept up with this controversy, Trash Taste, the podcast, had Hassan Piker on their podcast. Okay? Had Hassan Piker on their podcast. Hassan Piker's a terrorist supporter and absolute degenerate fuck. That guy sucks, and you should not ever be platforming him. So anyway, I mentioned that it's kind of weird to me how Hassan Piker gets an invite to Trash Taste, even though I am too controversial for Trash Taste. And I don't care. For the record, I fully support anyone that doesn't want to associate with me because I'm too controversial. All right? Let me make this clear. If I am too controversial for you, don't associate with me. I do not want anyone getting harassment on my behalf. All right? Now, the irony is, I was too controversial to go on to Trash Taste, for example. But Hassan Piker was not, even though that guy supports terrorists. All right? And they absolutely fucked around and found out by having him on the podcast. Now, again, I don't want any harassment to go to any of these people. But this is what he said.
Hassan. And so people were jumping on it and making videos about it.
Like me, I made a video about it because I think it's unacceptable for people to platform someone like Hassan Piker without actually discussing the ideas with him. To be clear, I think that you should be able to have anyone on whatever show you want, but at least engage with it. Do not launder the reputation of terrorists, please. Is that too much to ask?
There was a lot of stuff that people said that was just flat out not true.
All right, so here's where he calls me a liar. And I got a ton of comments saying, Sea-Dog called you a liar. And I never made a video about it because I don't actually care what people say about me on the internet. But I think this is part of the greater narrative because he did this to Tectone now, sort of.
And people were just making stuff up.
All right, people were making stuff up.
Some people were saying like, oh, they didn't have this guest on. They said they were too controversial, but they had another guest on. That's never happened. That's just a bunch of lies.
Connor, look at the last message you sent me on Twitter. I don't want to leak it because I do not leak DMs. This is a rule of mine. But literally go to the last message you sent me on Twitter. You literally said, hey, I can't dissociate with you because you're controversial. Something like that. Dude, look at it. It's a long message. Okay? Listen, I'm not starting anything. I'm just saying. You called me a liar here. And just go look at it. Tell me if I'm a liar. So, I don't care. To be clear, I don't think anyone should need to associate with me. But let's not make believe this is not true. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And now he's kind of doing that same thing to Tectone, it seems. Because now Tectone is controversial, so now no problem laughing at Tectone. It's crazy how this happens. And now, to be clear, I like Connor. I do. I think he's a good guy. I don't even dislike Ludwig. I just think he's spineless, and he's not willing to take accountability for anything. So this is me talking about Ludwig. Ludwig hates that Tectone can speak his mind without Hassan's schmeating his way. And yes, that is what he hates about it. Crazy. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, saying that I'm too controversial, but having Hassan on the podcast is fucking insanity. So, Asmongold made this clip about the Ludwig situation. I didn't actually see this. He actually just uploaded this 59 minutes ago, which is while I was live on stream. So, let's see what this is about.
But I just don't respect people's morals. Like Ludwig goes and pulls up my chat to try to make me look bad. You're getting this brought up because you trying to play games on me. You trying to make me bad. We're gonna talk about it.
I mean, dude, that last clip of Connor was just him trying to make me look bad without mentioning me by name. It is wild. It is wild.
Here's the context wagon. Ludwig, big YouTube content creator. They had an event which was basically a Mario Kart drunk challenge. One of the streamers, Mango, got weird and started sexually harassing other streamers.
So this is what the guy did, right?
No. He's humping toes. No.
End the stream. End it.
Now, if you did this to a female coworker, I think we all know what would happen. He got kicked out of Cloud9 for this.
And Ludwig, in particular, immediately distanced himself from his friend of many years.
And no longer inviting Mango to Mogul Moves events. Because, like, you know, it's a privilege to go to an event.
The situation went so viral that even Twitch stepped in and banned this streamer. And then...
Ludwig enabling Mango to drink dangerous levels of alcohol? What is this?
Okay, Mango is like an alcoholic.
See? He knows! He admits on his own stream that Mango is an alcoholic. And then he invites him to the event. And I think it's important to mention the fact that he actually has experience of people literally dying because of alcoholism. And that's why I think it's important and relevant to bring it up. Anything for a drop of clout.
Even Ray immediately knows this is a little bit not great.
Yeah, no shit.
New PB! Guys, Mango just...
New PB.
Blew a .25!
Throughout the event, contestants blew into a breathalyzer.
Hey, everybody! Mango just blew a .32! Let's up those numbers!
Let's up those numbers, guys! Let's up those numbers! Let's up those numbers, guys. That's what I say every time I tell you to subscribe. If you notice my YouTube channel, could we up those numbers? Hit that subscribe button, hit the like. Let's up those numbers!
I better not even for a fucking second hear anything about my chat. Oh, my chat.
Yeah, like, dude, yeah. And Ludwig going after people for their chat? Oh, my lord.
Chat said something bad.
Wait, hold up. Black female protagonists. Let's check Asmon's chat real quick. Halo DEI. DEI trailer. Oh, it's a...
Bro, there's no way. He went to Asmongold's chat to call him out. When you literally give alcohol to an alcoholic. Oh, my lord. Accountability is lost on these people.
DEI games. If you didn't notice, that woman, you heard me say woman, was black. So that is woke and not a game I'll play.
So you trying to make me look bad because of my chat, but you don't want to look bad because of your friend?
Oh, that's some spineless shit. Oof.
No longer inviting Mango to Mogul Moves event.
It's kind of crazy how Asmongold, Tectone, and I always get into heat from the same people. Could you explain this to me? How is it that it's always all three of us that always get heat from the same fucking community, man? The Hassan people, the Ludwig people. How does this happen, bro?
You told to drink alcohol at your party? You knew he was blood alcohol poisoning level drunk, and you were gassing him up. But the moment that I watch a trailer and I don't say a single thing, you're trying to farm hate on me. I wonder which one is worse. People saying DEI in the comments section or real life?
Especially because it's True. It was DEI. It's not just because it was a black woman. It was because obviously they were pushing some propaganda in their video. But that's not even real. I don't even care. You're trying to call him a racist, baby.
Sexual harassment and alcohol poisoning. Oh my God. Oh, my chat said something bad. Fix your friend.
Asmongold is like actually burning. You can tell he's actually mad. And I don't blame him.
Then maybe we can talk about my chat.
Let's up those numbers!
Let's up those numbers!
No longer inviting Mango to Mogul Moves event.
Yeah, so in my opinion, Slutwig over here will suck any dick that's actually there. Any dick that's dangling and ready to give him a little bit of clout, he is more than happy to jump on that bandwagon. And again, I'm not doing this canceling by association. You see, I stand by my morals so much more than people like this. Because when Ludwig was getting heat, I said, I am not canceling you for being friends with Hassan, okay? I'm not criticizing your friendship with the guy. I think that laundering the reputation of terrorist supporters is a shitty thing to do, but I'm not canceling by association. You are giving alcohol to an alcoholic when you have very personal family members that died of alcoholism. This is some disingenuous, spineless shit.
You know, it's a privilege to go to
So, all right, it's a privilege to go to a Ludwig event. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I wanted to see Tectone responded to Ludwig, apparently. He responded to Ludwig calling him out on stream, and I'm more than happy to look into this because, again, I have to deal with this fucking fake-ass bullshit all the time, and I'm really happy that there are other people that are actually pushing back on it, too. Again, I didn't even criticize Trash Taste for, like, some unbelievable... I didn't say that you're not allowed to be friends with Hassan. How dare you associate with him? But platforming a man that supports terrorists on the daily on his podcast and not talking to him about, you know, terrorists and just kind of making him a cool guy and laundering his reputation, that's some shitty shit. And that's why I'm here, baby. I'm here to make enemies with all the retards, it seems. It's not easy. And again, to make this clear, I don't think anyone needs to associate with me, and if you don't want to associate with me because I'm too controversial, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But don't be like, Nux is too controversial, I'm not going to associate with him. And then be like, buddies with Hassan. All right, association is bad, unless it's the associations that'll get me clout.
Hey, YouTube, what's going on? Today is actually going to be a little bit different from my normal videos. Unfortunately, a content creator by the name of Ludwig has invoked my name.
Oh no!
And, Ludwig has
he called out Voldemort!
Enough viewers will actually give a fuck. Because blasting me in front of that many people, well, obviously I gotta say something, right? Obviously I gotta say something. So we're gonna say something. Now, I would like to pretense this. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Ludwig right now. I know that that's how it is. And I know for me, it's very beneficial for me to say, oh, I fucking hate Ludwig. The guy's a piece of shit. The guy's a rat. And to be honest, I did say the rat, but that's just...
He is a rat. He is a rat. He absolutely is a rat. Dude ruined his friend's life, took no accountability for anything, and just immediately was super fucking quick, man. Super quick to blame him for everything, while not taking an ounce of accountability for upping those numbers for a known alcoholic. I'm sorry, bro. That's some shitty shit.
For clickbait, that's just for views. You know how that goes. To be completely honest, I was actually a big fan of Ludwig for quite a while. To be honest, I still think he's honestly a pretty okay guy. Not really as much.
I think he's a decent fellow also. I just think he's completely spineless and not someone that I would ever look up to in any reasonable way. I think he makes good content. I absolutely do. I think he's probably done some good things. I just think it's hilarious that he will collaborate with any fucking rat possible. All right, just if you look at Ludwig, just for a second, all right, and you look at the people he surrounds himself with, you gotta recognize that this is some crazy shit. Dog, like he collabs with, he's friends with Hassan, terrorist supporter. All right, terrorist supporter, actual criminal, endorser of violence, inciter of telling his audience to kill senators. All right, he's a bad fucking guy. You look at his he's making a game with Pirate Software, a guy who has the biggest ego on the face of the fucking planet that will never ever allow himself to take an L. Like, this is Ludwig. These are the fake people that he surrounds himself with. And he is also a fake person. A man with no integrity, in my opinion. Again, I don't hate him, obviously. I don't want him to get canceled. I want him to keep making content. I like his content. I think he makes good shit. All right, listen. But you should look at yourself in the mirror and recognize that you don't have a spine, buddy.
As he used to be, but honestly, I got no issues with
I feel like he doesn't have a single friend either. Like, we're calling Mango his friend, that he gave alcohol to his friend. He doesn't have friends. He has useful acquaintances, all right?
The guy. But recently, I did a little bit of calling him out. I did a little bit of calling him out because the events that occurred on his stream made me a little bit sick. They made me a little bit upset. and it shook me to my core. And the reason why it bothered me so much is due to the fact that I had that pre-existing respect for Ludwig, that pre-existing affinity for Ludwig. I mean, I even used to steal the guy's thumbnails and titles. Absolutely, I 100% did. I used to consume his content all the time. I watched that whole damn subathon when he was sleeping in that race car bed. And I think...
The crazy thing is, I was a Ludwig fan, for sure, at some point. I think he makes good streaming content. I think he upped the quality of streaming in general. But I don't care, bro. I don't care. You think I'm not going to call out people for doing shitty things? I am, because I actually have a philosophy that I think is very important, and I wish more people would adopt it. Make retards. Retards again. We gotta make retards again. That's right. You heard it here first, folks. If someone's a retard, you gotta call them a retard so that they can't go ahead and be more retarded in other places. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Make retards again. I support that.
A lot of people are currently disappointed in Ludwig's actions, and the fact that he won't take...
He's talking so reasonably. Bro, call him Quig like he deserves. I'm sorry, bro. I gotta go crazy. Call retards. I'm sorry, bro. There's a lot of them, and the world needs to know who the retards are. It's important. I'm a bit of a retard every once in a while, so absolutely important to call me out as a retard when I'm a retard. Yes, sir.
Accountability for them is honestly quite disheartening. We're going to break this down bit by bit. I'm going to show you the call out. The reason why I'm making this video, I was going to make one and leave it alone because I don't...
Same, by the way. I was not going to make this second video if I wouldn't have got this unbelievable amount of pushback on this tweet. So just know, this video exists because of the sociopaths defending Ludwig and criticizing me for mentioning context that I think is super fucking important. And to be clear,
really consider Ludwig a threat.
The pettiest video of all time.
To the streaming space, like I do other people that I frequently make content on. I'm not a guy who wants drama with anybody and everybody.
I mean, if you believe in speaking the truth, then you want drama with everybody. Because unfortunately, there are a lot of fake assholes that do not like it when they're called out for being fake assholes.
I never want to be that drama at all. I just want to correct the bully's behavior in this space, which is why I like calling out all of the...
Yeah, I don't even want to correct bully's behavior or anything. I don't actually want to... I don't care. I don't care about correcting anybody's behavior. I just like calling retards. It's definitely fun and I think positive for society.
Problematic people.
Definitely subscribe. Up those numbers.
The people giving people false accusations, false allegations, terrorism, saying horrific things about people's dead relatives, implying that people are criminals.
See, to be clear, I didn't say any horrific things about anyone's dead relatives. I said horrific things about a living guy that deserves the criticism.
On baseless claims. Those are the people that I consider threats. However, Ludwig was a very, very, very small man yesterday, so let's go ahead and talk about it. And I want to make this very clear. Ludwig, if you do see this, and this does hurt your feelings, I mean, I guess it is what it is. I want to let you know, I'm not sitting here talking about false accusations. I'm not sitting here talking about false allegations.
True.
I'm not doing anything speculative.
True.
What I am doing right now is I'm doing a thorough breakdown on objectively what
He's trying not to upset Ludwig so hard, man. Oh, he's trying so hard not to upset Ludwig. Oh, cook him, king.
You did that.
I mean, again, I respect it. I'm not trying to criticize Tectone here. I don't actually care. I think that it's fully understandable to not want to go hard on somebody that you respect. I do go hard on everybody because I believe that if they deserve it, they get cooked. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, man. That you have to realize their breasts are empty.
Babies and their breasts are empty. Do you know what that smells like?
Do you know what that smells like, Ludwig?
That is on stream, that is proven by your own actions. If you want to make a follow-up video shit-talking me, you're more than welcome to. If you want to make a video talking about all of the horrible shit that everybody fucking does that's been pulled out of their ass, you're more than welcome to.
He's not. He's not going to do that. He's probably going to try to ignore it until it dies down, which probably is the thing to do, to be honest, at this point. Because even at this point, even if you decide to make some sort of video now, people are just going to call it too late. So to be honest, I just don't even think that's going to happen.
You wanted to stay away from drama, and sure, I don't know if Hassan will approve of you making that video, but if you do get your daddy's permission, then sure, go ahead, you can do that. That's a little bit of a joke. I know that probably pissed you off, but let's go ahead and get into this shit right now.
Nah, dude, I think it's perfectly valid. Like, you are somebody that is so spineless, so trying to virtue signal and grift to your side of the aisle. Yes, of course, Hassan is the GOAT. We must respect and love Hassan.
So, last night, Ludwig goes live with
Daddy Hassan! Daddy Hassan, please! Can I make a video criticizing this guy, please?
CDawg VA. He goes ahead and he says this.
Enable game chat. It's actually one of my greatest pleasures.
Now, I would like to pretense this with CDawg VA is currently 1-3. They're losing very hard. The enemy is up 7 kills.
God
They're
damn.
both probably miserable as fuck.
Bro, you know the only thing worse than being terrorist supporters? Playing League of Legends, bro.
As well as they're playing League of Legends, which means they're most likely on suicide watch enough as it is.
True,
I
fair.
don't know how much money you would have to pay me to play League of Legends on stream. Jesus Christ, haven't done that in years. But usually this is how you know someone has chronic clinical depression. Yeah, oh, you can't hear it? Great, let me pull up another clip then.
Enable game chat. It's actually one of my greatest pleasures that I get to die never having to speak to these people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like a Tectone video. I can die never watching one.
Based!
It sounds to me like somebody may or may not have watched my video. I know.
Yeah, listen, man. No, Ori just saw the title and thumbnail, to be honest. I mean, your title and thumbnail was diabolical.
Oh, I know. Ludwig, the thing that's really a shame, and what I don't know if you'll actually believe me for, is that the original video was called Ludwig is a disgusting, filthy, lying rat who have a conscience, just changed it to be Ludwig is a rat.
What a benevolent guy. What a dude. What a benevolent man. Oh my God, that's crazy.
And I think you'd agree after watching this video that me calling you what you are isn't an insult.
I guess. I mean, that's the logic I use when I call people retards. I'm like, listen, when I call Ludwig a retard, I'm not like insulting the man. I'm not insulting Ludwig by calling him a retard, okay? To be clear, it's a diagnosis.
I'm trying to make you aware of your own actions, not things that I've
I'm always trying to make Tectone, I love you, bro. That video was not you trying to make him aware of his own actions, all right? Calling you a rat was merely an observation. Yeah, all right. But yes, I agree completely. Listen, when I said Hassan Piker is 620% fucked, I was merely talking about the amount of penises that are going to be entering his asshole when he's in prison for supporting terrorism. I only called you what you are. That's crazy.
Speculated upon, but things that you have actually done. Not.
Yeah, to be clear, I am not as benevolent, as kind as Tectone, to be clear. I'm not trying to make believe that I am. I am making an astute observation when I call you a retard. Yes, absolutely. And if you take offense to that, well, that makes sense. Most people are offended by insults that actually are true. You see, when I get called random unhinged names on the internet, I actually don't care. I don't care when people try to insult me with things that aren't accurate. You know, it's the insults that are either terribly slanderous or accurate that affect somebody. So if someone calls Ludwig a rat and it gets him so tilted that he's gonna give people ammunition to make more videos on him, it means Ludwig knows he's a rat, to be honest.
4 years ago, not 5 years ago, 2 days ago, to one of your closest friends. Now you expressed that you'd rather kill yourself than watch one of my videos. Well, Ludwig, I have a feeling you sound a lot like somebody who's watched one of my videos. And by the way, if you're here watching my video right now, make sure to press like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for all notifications.
Let's up those numbers!
Let's keep going here.
So true.
It's a good life. It's a good life that I get.
I know. CDawg being a bro, backing up his homie, who's clearly tilted. You know what's really funny, Lud? Trash Taste, CDawg VA, Joey, Giga, they actually invited me on.
There's no way Tectone and I have the same fucking story here. I don't know. CDawg invited me on Trash Taste also. He said if I ever come to Japan, I should go on Trash Taste. Oh my fucking God. There is no fucking way, dude. There is no way he has the that's diabolical.
Trash Taste way back in the day. Do you know that Joey used to watch my content on Arknights every single day? I actually have a lot of respect for the Trash Taste crew, but I do think it was funny that CDawg said so true.
Wow. That is crazy. How does this happen, man? That's crazy. Holy shit. To be fair, Connor invited me on Trash Taste before the V-Shoujo drama, to be fair. Now, again, I have no hard feelings towards any of these people. I actually like CDawg. I just think that so many of these people in this space are so fucking fake.
Obviously cheering on a good old buddy in League of Legends. Some people want me to be angry at that, but I just won't. I've met up with CDawg and VA in real life, and I still like the guy a little bit, even if he was.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I feel like Tectone and I have like the same opinions on this guy. I don't dislike him. I literally don't. I do not dislike CDawg VA. I think that him calling me a liar was a little bit shitty, to be honest. especially when his literal latest DM to me on Twitter is exactly what he called me a liar about.
Was taking a little bit of shit talk at me.
How is VShojo doing these days, by the way? You know, VShojo, they all tried to cancel me. How are they doing? Are they doing well? Is VShojo doing well? Is VShojo doing well? Just asking. Because obviously, hoping for only the best. Wait, a lot of their talent are leaving? Oh no.
Hasn't really done anything fucked up, so I don't feel like the need to go in on him. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's keep going here. I don't really thrive for drama, and I hope that you believe me here. If I was, I would say, man, Ludwig and C-Dog, they really crossed the line, and now we're crashing out. Yeah, I'm just not really interested in doing that, Ludwig. This isn't me farming you for clicks.
This is me farming you both for clicks. Absolutely.
This is me showing a man who has fucked up. And we're now 7 minutes in this video. We're gonna get in here even more. We're gonna keep going here.
That's a really healthy life. It is. It is.
Healthy life. Never watching a Tectone video. He's too bald. His baldness is crazy.
Great. So you said that you would rather kill yourself than watch one of my videos, and that's not really cool to say. So
it's not very nice, to be honest. Honestly, that might be even meaner than anything Tectone actually said about Ludwig in his video where he called him out to be a rat. That's crazy. I'd rather kill myself than watch your video. That's diabolical. What did Tectone say here? What's this?
Ones he has ever made to this day.
What's up, California? My name is Alex. What's up, Maiden? I'm Oliver. I'm Brian. I'm Dylan. And together we are...
Gay as fuck. You're gay as fuck, guys.
Quality. This style is very popular now. Put it in your storefront from both indoor and outdoor to make your business great again.
Tony's marketing campaign targeted more boy music groups.
Trump impressions always fucking kill me, man, but I think the #1 Trump impersonator is Nux. Good God, his impersonation kills me.
Thank you, Bald Man. Thank you, Bald Man. Very cool. I will remember you during my 4th term as president, because as we all know, the last election was stolen. This is my 3rd turn. Thank you so much, Bald Man. I just have a question. Do the curtains match the drapes? Are you bald everywhere? Or is baldness simply a thing that's going on top? That's my question. I'm just asking the questions here, not trying to get involved. That's what they're saying. I didn't say it. They said it. They said your penis is quite respectable. Not as respectable as mine, but I'll be honest. I still think you should be proud.
So let me tell you why you had this very small, very petty little boy behavior on your stream. And that is because you are now facing the consequences of your own actions.
True.
Where you have fucked up and once
FAFO, baby! You fuck around, you find out.
Once again, you are skirting accountability and you completely threw over one of your friends under the bus after you completely fucked over his life.
Yes, sir! And make it clear. You ruined your friend's life. Let me make this clear. You ruined your friend's life, brother. You did. You did, Ludwig. I'm sorry, you did. Take accountability or something. I don't know, man. What are we supposed to do? Make believe it didn't happen?
And I mean this genuinely, Ludwig. You completely butt-fucked Mango's entire life.
True.
Now,
I'm really glad people are noticing. I knew Nux had enemies. I didn't know how many. I have no enemies. I have no enemies. Not a single enemy. A lot of people like to think that they're my enemy. I have none. No enemies. Just people that call themselves my enemies. And ironically, they keep finding out. Have anyone noticed? 2025, the year of the Nux, baby. Holy shit.
Now, I want to make this very clear. Did Mango fuck up? Absolutely. 100%. Of course he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Mango fucked up.
Everybody knows he did. And he is responsible for his own actions. Now, a lot of you guys, and this is the reason why I'm making this video, a lot of you guys say Ludwig is not responsible for someone else's
actions. Oh shit, this is the clip we saw.
In his event. This is a good counter argument that a lot of people say.
It's not a good counter argument. I'm sorry, it's not. It's like giving drugs to a drug addict. Okay, dude, alcoholism is a fucking life-destroying vice, okay? I really hate when people are like, but it's his choice, and he decided to drink, and Ludwig just gave him the option, and he said yes, so it's all his fault. Alcoholism is a life-destroying vice. The reason why I made this tweet here is because there is no benefit of the doubt, okay? Ludwig's dad died due to complications of alcoholism. You should have known better. That's why I made this tweet. This isn't going after family members like so many people are like trying to harass me for. Right, dude? It's like if, let me give you a hypothetical. If you have a friend that is a gambler and you decide to throw him a birthday party in a casino, okay? That's the equivalent, okay? It's like you have a friend who has a drug addiction and you buy him fentanyl for his birthday. This is the type of shit we're talking about, bro. This is literally what we're saying. This is an actual vice. It really is. And you enabled that by putting a beer in his hand.
Because play devil's advocate. A lot of you guys might think, well, that's Mango. It's not Ludwig's fault. He's not responsible for any—
Dude, these people are such fucking fakes. It's unbelievable.
Anybody else's actions. And for some people, you might agree. Some people might say no.
I don't think he's— okay, to be clear, I don't even care about— I'm not saying that it's Ludwig's fault that people were sexually harassed by Mango at this party. That's not even what I'm talking about. You almost killed this guy. He had like 4 times the legal limit of alcohol. He could have died. He blacked out from that. You almost killed him and you ruined his life. I don't understand this, bro. I really don't. I feel like I'm watching— dude, this is the greatest analogy of all time. I feel like I'm watching BoJack Horseman, okay? For any of you that watch that show. I feel like I'm watching BoJack Horseman, and BoJack is ruining his life, and you have these destructive people that— this is BoJack Horseman taking— what was that girl's name? On a bender. Sarah Lynn. It's BoJack Horseman taking Sarah Lynn on a bender. When Sarah Lynn is a drug-addicted adult— Sarah Lynn was 30 years old. He's taking a drug-addicted adult on a bender that wound up with Sarah Lynn dying in a movie theater, okay? I feel like— and that's why I'm so scared, because it is that plastic, fake Hollywood life that is exactly what I'm looking at right now. That is exactly what I'm watching. The fakest ass bitches always trying their best to look good in the camera, and these are people that trust you, and you are putting a beer in his hand and saying, let's up those numbers. That's why I think this is actually evil.
Some people might say yes. Do you know who would disagree with that very take? Do you know who would disagree that you are not responsible for someone else's actions? Ludwig himself. And this is why we're talking about this here today. The only person responsible for someone's actions is the someone that did the action. If little Timmy sees a video of a guy eating a fuckload of Takis and faking domestic violence, and then eats a fuckload of Takis and slaps his crush, Timmy is responsible, not the other guy. I just said your argument is weak. Fight someone else in the comments. How is it weak, bro? Nobody is responsible for what random idiots do but the idiot that did it. The fact that you seem to think that you have this much pull and control over randos that roll up to his stream says more about ego than anything else, to which Ludwig responded, I think there's a lot of good arguments for not having responsibility. I just specifically think mentioning a 1 in 100,000 extreme cases proof of why that should be the case is weak. Weak argument equals weak stance. It's not weak, it's true. You aren't responsible for what randoms do unless you specifically say, hey, go do unshit in my name. Ludwig, you have actively fought people who said that you aren't responsible for someone else's actions. You believe that you are responsible for someone else's actions.
Yeah,
by the way,
this is just like extra hypocrisy. The fact that Ludwig decided to take the virtue signal stance back in the day just goes to show how fake he is too. Like, you gotta realize, the reason why Ludwig was making that entire thread about talking about how you're not responsible for how you are responsible for your audience's actions, it's again another virtue signal on top of that, bro. It's another virtue signal. Oh, guys, of course you're responsible for your audience. Of course you are, of course. And that virtue signaling came back to bite him.
This was in regards to chat policing. This was in place for community policing, saying that a streamer is in control of their chat and a streamer is in control of their community, and they should dictate what that chat and community should do. So if you believe a streamer is in charge of their chat, randoms on the internet, why the fuck do you think you're not responsible for taking care of one of your best friends?
Damn.
In a weakened state.
Yeah, I think another reason, by the way, why I think Tectone is, this is Bald Asmongold. That's what we're calling him from now on. Bald Asmongold is angry here, in my opinion, is because he's been backstabbed by friends. Bald Asmongold has been backstabbed by so many people. I have too. And I think that's why seeing fake friends on the internet is so frustrating. Coming from someone that's been stabbed in the back more times than anyone you know, Baldmangold over here, understands that 100%. 100 freaking %, man. Can I just say something, by the way, that's completely true? I've been backstabbed so many times by so many people. This dude never backstabbed me. All right? That's how you know he's a real one. He could have cashed in his clout points at any time. He never stabbed me in the back. And by the way, to be clear, this dude was backstabbed so many times, and I have never stabbed him in the back. I never jumped on the fucking Tectone cancel train either. Tectone isn't Bald Asmongold. Asmongold is Bald Asmongold. That's crazy.
Around alcohol that you know is his vice, a suffering alcoholic in a public, on display format in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Ludwig, if you had a fucking spine, you would understand that you fucked up bringing Mango into that situation. You need to wake the f up. Because if you are going to say that a streamer is in charge of their chat, yes, the streamer host should be fucking taking care of the people in their community.
Like, the crazy thing is, man, it's not even a matter of taking accountability and responsibility. It's actually criminal, right? Like, there are legally, a host of a party needs to vet people, right? I'm pretty sure this is, like, actually law. I'm just out of curiosity. Hold on. Legally, is a host of a party accountable for the alcohol consumptions of guests? Because I really think there actually is legal consumption. It's definitely about minors, right? Social host liability. In many U.S. states, hosts can be held liable under the social host liability laws if they provide alcohol to guests who cause harm, such as drunk driving accidents. This is true if the host serves alcohol to minors or visibly intoxicated guests. If a host continues to serve alcohol to someone who is clearly drunk and the guest causes injury or property damage, the host may be liable in states with dram shop or social host laws. Let's up those numbers! Am I right, guys? Let's up those numbers. Holy shit. Key factors in liability. Control of alcohol. Hosts are more likely to be liable when they directly provide or serve alcohol rather than guests bringing their own. Knowledge of intoxication. Liability often hinges on whether the host knew or should have known a guest was intoxicated or underage. He's at a 0.32! Sounds familiar? Oh my lord. Holy shit, bro. This is not just chat policing, man.
You invited a known alcoholic of 10 years to an alcohol abusing festival, and you cheered for this.
Hey, everybody!
You cheered for a alcoholic blowing a 0.32. You need to see this, okay? The legal limit in America is a 0.08. Ludwig, he was 4 times over that in the 0.3 to 0.4 zone of alcohol poisoning and loss of consciousness. Once he got to a 0.32, you say, and I quote, let's get those numbers up. At 0.4, he was at 0.32. At 0.4, it is potentially fatal, risk of coma and death.
That's why I brought up the context. Because you should know this, bro.
At point...
Okay, I have people in my chat saying attempted murder. Guys, this is not attempted murder. He was not trying to kill the guy, obviously. I just think he was wildly negligent and irresponsible. Okay, let's fucking not do this, please. Okay, I don't want to hear anyone saying that this is attempted murder. Okay, I don't want to see any of this. Obviously, there was no damage, thank God. At least physical damage. There was monetary damage. So I don't want to hear anyone literally hyperbolizing in chat that he should be sued, that he broke all sorts of laws, that it's attempted. None of this. Don't want to hear it. He's a fake friend, and he is a negligent bitch, and he is an egotistical freak that's not willing to take accountability. Those are appropriate insults. All right, I do not want to see any hyperbolizing, please.
3, you have alcohol poisoning, loss of consciousness, altered mood, reduced reaction time, slurred speech, slowed thinking, nausea, vomiting, loss of balance. This isn't drama, Ludwig. This is you putting streamers' lives at risk for content. He blacked the fuck out. Even his tweets show he has no idea what the fuck happened. He doesn't even remember the night's event. He doesn't even remember doing anything. He was that fucked up, and you encouraged that. Now, some people are saying that he got to a 0.37 later in the party. I cannot verify that. I cannot find the clip, so I don't want to weigh in on that. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to go in on what people are accusing you of. I am only going to talk about what is in front of me. And you putting someone else's life at risk is not good, especially someone who you considered one of your best friends.
That's why this is such fake shit, because obviously he didn't care about him. Obviously he cared about the clout, he cared about the content.
And here's the worst thing, Ludwig. You can't act like you didn't fucking know. And the reason why you can't act that way is because multiple streamers warned you to not fucking invite him.
True. Mango was saying that shit earlier.
Mango's been practicing drinking beer for a week.
Mango is like an alcoholic.
Bro, dude, oh my God. Mango is like an alcoholic, and then he gives him alcohol.
Mango can drink 30 beers.
You said, and I quote, Mango is an alcoholic. Should I invite an alcoholic to a beer drinking party?
Why is
it okay for a recovering alcoholic to drink? For some recovering alcoholics,
This is the most basic logic shit.
the safe course remains complete abstention, avoiding not just the chemical, but also the psychological triggers associated with alcohol consumption. Well, there we go. That's what Google thinks. Yeah, Ludwig, we shouldn't invite a fucking alcoholic with a known alcohol issue to a beer drinking party. You invited this person personally. And it's like, dude.
Bro, why are there so many people in chat saying Nux yay? I don't know what this has to do with this,
I
bro.
literally feel like I'm talking to a child right now. Like, I hate how in big 2025, you're 29 years old. We're pretty much the same age. I'm 31.
Bro's pushing 50!
According to the internet, I'm dead in the dirt, and you still got 1 year left to live. Because once you're 30, then you're fucking dead. That's just how the fucking world works. This is the thing that I don't understand when people tell me, oh, well, now you're covering politics. I'm not covering politics, guys. I'm covering common fucking sense. I don't know how someone is this bitter at me due to the fact that I said, hey, man, don't invite.
Because dude will sacrifice a child to Moloch, okay, to spare himself a Reddit hate thread, okay? Literally, man, what are we talking about? He's upset at you because you have a video with 300,000 views calling him a rat. That's why he's upset at you, bro. Okay? Duh. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about what happens. He literally threw Mango under the bus immediately. He did not wait for that shit to even ferment in his mind before he immediately distanced himself from a friend of 10 years. Okay? He doesn't care. What are we talking about? Oh my lord. Common sense also is politics these days. I don't know if you got the memo. Bro, but yeah, absolutely. Politics has become common sense. Shout out to you know, biological men and women's bathrooms. Apparently that's controversial. I bet Ludwig would, by the way, support that, because that's, he is the embodiment of I support the current thing. For real, for real. Ludwig is the type of guy that would hide his zombie bite from his friends in an apocalypse. True. I saw that comment.
Invite your recovering alcoholic buddy to a beer drinking party, encourage him at a 0.25 to drink more, encourage him at a 0.32 to drink more, getting him to a near fatal level of alcoholism. And then when he does things he doesn't remember, then you throw him underneath the bus. Guys, is now permanently banned on Twitch. He's been removed from C9, which he was like one of the original members. Damn. As well as there was one other thing, and now he's banned from all future Ludwig events, meaning after the severe hit in his career, there is no way for him to have a bounce back.
And at the same, he does.
Yeah, he's cooked. Ludwig's cooked. He ruined his life.
Off no beer. He's a machine of a man.
He said he had 7 beers already today.
If you ask him how many beers he's had lifetime, it's probably above 10,000.
Is it really him?
He's the...
Valkyrie says, and I quote, and when someone looks at you like this,
damn,
with a concerned look like this, isn't this event enabling him? What did you respond with?
He's a 2-time champion. He's never lost.
You completely skirt the question and you say, well, he's the 2-time champion.
Oh.
Yeah, I would imagine an alcoholic is the champion of an alcohol party. Yes. Now let's keep going here. Now, maybe you didn't know,
oh no, dude,
what his actions were. Maybe you didn't see.
Bro, he blew past the 0.32.
Him getting crazy. Maybe you didn't see him going over the edge. Maybe you didn't see a weird part of him being unlocked and party on 4K on thousands of people's streams. Maybe you just didn't see.
He knew, bro. Bro blew past the 0.32. Do you know what that smells like? Do you know what that bro must have smelled like? He probably smelled like a literal urinal at that point. All right, like what are we talking about, bro? Oh my god. Do you know what that smells like, bro? Holy shit-a-moly. This is the greatest fan art I've ever received. Do you know what that smells like?
See, and this is why you're ragging this way after the fact. Oh, let's watch this clip real quick.
Are you okay?
We're doing it here.
Here?
Well, apparently everyone's just trying to run it here because we got drinks and it's easy to sell.
I'm down. Hi, babe.
Dude, the fact that they're not wearing shirts, bro.
His eyes are glazed over. His speech is slurred. He's in an environment where his shirts are off because you thought of a great idea that it should be shirts versus skins.
Oh my god.
He's immediately trying to touch women.
Don't beat her ass.
You guys are amazing.
I won't let him beat you up.
You push him away.
He just said, I won't let him beat you up, bro.
Thank you, Lud.
He comes closer.
Thank you for having me.
And he's slapping her head. Bro, stop! This is painful. By the way, you wouldn't find me dead at one of those parties. I would never go to any party like this, literally ever. I have a little thing called integrity and a life. Why would you do this? The answer is content, by the way. I know I'm titillating your senses. You're probably thinking, why would this is for content. Clout hell. Literally. When Dante wrote about his Inferno, talking about the 9 layers of hell, this is layer 10, the clout layer of hell.
You know he's being weird.
I got second in the.
It's right in front of you. You know he's being weird.
What the hell is that?
Right?
Borderlands spawns are actually good.
He's still being fucking weird.
It was fun. I was loving it. I love Borderlands 4.
Bro.
This was the best day ever.
You push him away again. You then try to block him off from Extra Emily. You know very well that he is completely far gone.
You know that the guy's fucked. You know he's fucked, man.
You know.
Bro, this is a Luddy party. Bro, this is the new Diddy parties. This is crazy. Holy shit.
Very well. He's being weird as fuck. You know very well he's smacking on bitches' heads. You know he's gone. You know he's blazed. You know he's over the limit. What you should have done, and it's very obvious, and I hate saying this, and you're the one who said that you should be responsible for your own community. If you did not say that, this video would not be being made.
No, I would still make this video. I would still make this video, absolutely. Bro, literally, coming from my throats for mentioning a pertinent fact.
I would say, okay, Ludwig doesn't give a fuck. Clearly, you are trying to give the illusion that you give a fuck. With Hassan saying, and I quote, Ludwig calculates the most friendly,
Ludwig calculates the most non-dramatic position.
Non-offensive takes of all time. Well, in this non-offensive take where you said that everybody was responsible for the Twitch chat and community, you need to be responsible for what happens at your parties.
Ludwig calculates the mathematical size that he needs to unlatch his jaw to get Hassan's meat further down his throat. He is mathematically calculating exactly the correct angle he could be to get as much Hassan Schmeat down his schmorgel as soon as possible.
You know he was being weird. You chose to keep him on the stream because he's the 2-time champion. You need him for content. You need him to make this event epic. And you know he was being weird as shit. You couldn't have just said, hey man, you're too fucked up, called him an Uber, and got him out of there. You kept him live on this shit. You know he was being weird the entire fucking time. And his life is now completely fucking ruined. Now, obviously, I know there's some things that happen with your dad. I'm not going to bring those up. There's a lot.
He saw the hate I was getting on Twitter. No! He saw the hate I was getting on Twitter. Oh, Lord.
A lot of people who want me to bring those up. And you know what I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say it. Because I don't feel like crossing that boundary.
All right, I respect that, honestly. I respect that. Not trying to say. I respect it. I think a lot of it is because, you know, a lot of people have been harassing Tectone because you know, Tectone's dad was a criminal of sorts. So I think that he understands not to cross that boundary. He doesn't want to get involved in dads. And I get it. I definitely get it. Absolutely. However, I think there's a very big difference because there is no evidence that Tectone ever raped anybody or committed sexual assault or anything like that. And because there's no evidence like that, literally fuck you guys for like even trying to allege something like that. I don't care about crimes of the father. That's not why I bring it up. I bring it up because Ludwig should know better. He literally suffered through a family member dying because of alcoholism. He suffered through that, bro. And he still put a beer in the hands of an alcoholic. That's why I think it's pertinent.
But if anybody should know the effect of alcoholism, it should be you.
True.
You should know damn well how bad that is. And it's a shame, rather than showing any remorse, you say, fuck Mango, he's never invited, he fucked up by himself, nobody else played into that. You set bro up for disaster.
Yes, sir.
And you know he did.
For clout.
You know you did. You took an alcoholic, you brought it to your party, you were warned.
I literally feel like this is an episode of BoJack Horseman.
To not do this. You were questioned. Hey, isn't this enabling him? Your other friend said, hey, the amount of alcohol he's drinking is very dangerous. We should stop. You say, no, we need to get those numbers up. You get him to a 0.32, blackout levels of alcoholism. He acts weird. You see him being weird. You don't step in. You don't remove him. You let him continue when he doesn't know what's going on. And now his life is ruined forever. You could have apologized. You could have maybe helped him get into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Though, judging by your actions, you most likely would bring a kegger to an Alcohol Anonymous meeting. You set him up to fail. You ruined his life. His wife is in.
Thank you, bro. I'm really glad that people are looking at it from this perspective. I really do. Because he did ruin his life. He ruined his life, man. He did. There's no two ways about this. Like, you know, if I was Ludwig, which I would never be Ludwig, because I can't live a fake life like that. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't do that. I'm sorry. It just won't. It would never work. If I personally was in that position and I woke up in Ludwig's skin the day after this party, the first thing I would have done is apologize for being irresponsible about the party and giving alcohol to this person, and I would immediately offer to pay for Mango's rehab and saying that he fucked up, absolutely, and he will not come to these parties, but I would be there for him. This is crazy, man. It's crazy that he felt like the first thing he should do is immediately distance himself from his friend of 10 years after almost ruining his life. I don't know, man. It's wild.
Shambles. And while I agree Mango did fuck up, and I absolutely agree, he is responsible for his own actions.
True, for sure.
You are responsible for bringing your friend into this incredibly dangerous environment. You are. And you can be upset at me. And the reality is, Ludwig, if you are upset at me, you want to know why that is? Because you're not actually upset at me. You're upset at yourself.
No, I don't even think so. I don't know. I wonder. I don't know what's going on in Ludwig's head. You know why I think he's upset at you? This is why I think he's upset at you, Tectone. All right. This is why I think he is upset at you. I think he's upset at you because you have a video with 352,000 views saying that Ludwig is a rat. That's why he's upset at you. Because of this title and this thumbnail, the content of the video is completely irrelevant. I'm sorry. That is why he's upset at you. Because you ruined his reputation by a little bit. All right. Dude would sacrifice his child to Moloch to avoid a Reddit thread. All right. That's all that matters to this guy. All right. He will, in the words of Hassan Piker, he will mathematically craft his take to be as inoffensive as possible. That's why he's upset.
You know I have not misconstrued anything. You know I don't have...
True. But the truth doesn't matter.
Against you, I have no pre-existing hatred for you whatsoever. In fact, I've been told by a lot of my friends, old friends, that I should hate you, and I don't. But I think displaying your childishness and this lack of any empathy or support or caring for your friends is disgusting. And I hate this world of streaming that we live in, where we're willing to throw anybody under the bus if it means saving our own skin.
I mean, it's the classic fake friend, LA influencer, the Hollywood sphere. Absolutely.
You couldn't even take a little bit. You couldn't even take a little bit of bad PR to ease it up on him even a little bit. You said, nah, fuck him. It's all his fault. I can't believe he did that. You said, oh man, disgusting. I don't condone that. Oh, pathetic. Not me. You couldn't have said, man, I feel horrible. Mango was my friend. I knew he was struggling with alcoholism, but I invited him anyways. I was warned. I didn't listen. People warned me again. I didn't listen. I fed into his weakness. I fed into his vices.
True.
And he fucked up. And I hate the fact that I put him in that position.
Yep.
You didn't say that.
If he would have said that, he would come off looking like a human. Not like a plastic bag. Not like an actual rat. Not like someone that will literally throw anyone to the curb if it'll save a drop of clout. This dude was so quick to cut off people like Asmongold immediately when he started beefing with Hassan.
You couldn't take any heat off of that. You let him fry and die by himself, and now his life is over. And once again, am I a big C9 Mango fan? No, I don't even know the guy. I know he plays Smash. Maybe I watched a couple clips. Is he one of the guys in the Wombo combo clip? I don't fucking know. I'm just calling a spade a spade. And I really just think, and guys, this goes for all streamer parties. If you're recording yourself on a streamer party and you're getting alcohol involved, that shit's gay as fuck. It is. I've been to a couple. I'll never go again. And if I do end up going to one in the future, I bet your ass I will be sober as fuck, making sure that the people there are okay.
Dude, you know what? I always wanted to buy this for Ludwig because I think it could help him personally. I personally would love to buy this for Ludwig. I think it would be good for him. It's not even that expensive, but I think it's real. This plant. What do you think of buying him this plant? Just buying him this plant, this little plant. What do you think, guys? I think Ludwig could do well with something like this. Like, can you imagine this? Dude, if he would just put this in the background of his stream, if he would just put this shit in the background of his stream, I think this would be the funniest shit in the universe. Like, dude, literally, if he just put this plant in the background, in the background, he just puts this plant there. I'll be real. I would find that hilarious. That's my opinion.
Okay? And actually trying to help people if they're making an ass out of themselves, rather than enabling it and letting them destroy their lives. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. But I think this whole situation is absolutely disgusting. I think it's been handled with, to be honest, a disgusting amount of negligence.
These are man children. It's man children that only care about their careers, bro.
Disgusting amount of no one being able to take accountability for their own actions. And I'm seeing deflecting and misconstruing, and I'm not seeing anybody try to help someone out where they completely fucked their life. And yes, once again, I'm gonna say this for the third time this video, Mango absolutely fucked up as well.
True.
But
True.
Ludwig, so did you.
Yep.
And you need to take
All
accountability.
True. All true.
Don't do this shit.
I hate the fucking fake woke virtue signal bitches. They all turn out to be frauds. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Every single one of them will end up exposing themselves. There's this little thing called fucking around and finding out. And it's really nice.
You want to know why more people aren't calling you out? Because they know you're a figurehead.
Of course they're not calling. No one wants beef with Ludwig, bro. Everyone wants to be in Ludwig's videos. This is the fake bitch ass mentality that all these people have.
They know you're a ringleader. They know if they hold you accountable for your own actions, they won't get invited to the next big streamer thing.
True.
And that's why these people don't call you out.
Because they're fake bitches.
Because they know they want the clout. And you know that's true. You know a lot of these people don't actually give a fuck about you. They only care about what you can do for them.
Absolutely
true. And that's
true.
the truth. When all this shit's said and done, it's a shame. I think the streaming space is already disgusting. And to be honest, I think it got a little bit more disgusting over the past couple days. Let's take some accountability, guys. Let's try to be good friends in a space full of piranhas and full of pieces of shit. Let's just try to help our friends. Let's not set them up for disaster. And when you see someone fall, you don't have to kick him in the nuts. Take some accountability. I know you're 29. I guess 2 more years till you gain empathy, just like I-dubs.
Damn, true.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Hey, you.
I think you did a good job. This was a good video. I think this was a more or less good response to Ludwig. My response to Ludwig is, sir, I don't care. I think absolutely. The facts slap harder than my dad. That's what I'm saying. They slap harder than Ludwig's dad. What can I say, man? That's crazy. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. I wanted to look at the backlash to all of this also, because I've been getting an insane amount of backlash. So is Tectone. And the crazy thing is, it's the usual suspects. It's the virtue signaling fucks. Those people are gonna come out of the woodwork, and as I always say, make retards again. Definitely subscribe, and I'll see you next time someone's retarded. Bye. Let's up those numbers. Subscribe. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.